Well, guys, how are you? Okay, now, for some times now, we have discussed matters of racism. The reason as why the white people are always jealous towards the black people. And this matter is very significant as we consider a lot of factors behind it. And I had to do some research about the jealousy of the white people towards the black people. What brings it? We get to understand that we have had a long stories to tell on how the white people have considered themselves to be supreme more than the black people. But sometimes it is so thrilling to realize that somebody is jealous towards you, not because they are better than you, but because they feel that you are doing better than them. And that is something that is so shocking when you realize that the white people can feel like, the blacks are much more better than them. And so this is the topic that I'm going to bring today. Please just stay tuned, watch, subscribe, and like as we dive into details. Welcome, guys, and keep it here at the Blue Statistics. Welcome.
So yes, I was instantly infatuated and fascinated with Black people because I believe that they were God's favorite. God spent a little bit more time creating them and put a little bit more love into creating them. So yes, I believed they were the superior race, and going forward in life with that mentality, I just always loved Black people. I always wanted to be around them. I always just thought they were the coolest people. And I was fortunate enough to grow up in a fairly diverse area. So I had many Black friends. Most of my friends were Black or people of color. And I was very quickly exposed to Black music and Black talent. Something that my mom really instilled in me was that white people were racist. White people were jealous of Black people because they were so multifaceted and multi-talented. They could sing, they could dance, they can act, they could make a house a home, they can cook, they can clean. Like, there's literally nothing that Black people can't do. Like, they are multifaceted, they are multi-talented. And it made sense to me as a little kid that, that was what racism was. It was jealousy. Let's be real. Racism 100% stems from jealousy and envy. And just, I think people who are racist usually have an insecurity within themselves that they have to spew this hatred onto to other people, because it just doesn't really make sense. Racism doesn't make sense in my.
Oh, I do think that white people are absolutely jealous of Black people, specifically with the community, and also with like fashion and music and everything else that is appropriated. But by design of what whiteness is, it inherently lacks community. And I think we're absolutely jealous of that. And I've heard biracial people say that they do see that difference in their own families, because in addition to European cultures being more individualistic than cultures from Africa, South America, and indigenous North American cultures, the invention of whiteness in America erased a lot of ties to actual culture. So when I say like white people, Black community, I'm not talking about like Polish people or German people or Irish people. As I explained in my book, I just wrote the intro and I'm working on the conclusion today. You'll keep me in your prayers. In the course of human history, white is a relatively new term. As we discussed in the introduction to this book, white is a North American term emerging from the 1600s as a term to justify the enslavement of Africans and squelch revolts from poor Europeans and indentured servants. Before this term, Europeans would identify with their nationalities. The Irish, Italians, Germans, French are all very different cultures. Thus, there is not the same communal tie to whiteness as there is for people from other communities. Further, since white was created to be a divider, a separator, it is not a happy identity. It is not something people want to admit they relate to. It doesn't have a rich, healthy history. Speaking as a white American who has conducted national level research on white Americans, we tend to say things like we have German, Irish, Italian, etc. ancestry, even if we have never been to those places. This is because all white Americans have ties to immigration, and because these identities are actual cultures, they do not have roots only in oppression. Now, we know who started colonization, right? So this is the book I'm trying to finish by Monday and send to the editor. There's a free chapter in my bio if you're interested on one of the unwritten rules of work. The book is predominantly about class, but I talk about 3 other identities that you can't talk about class without talking about these other identities, and race is absolutely one of them.
Well, guys, based on the discussion that we have had today, you have seen what is rolling out. The guys are coming out and saying that, you guys, let's be so sincere about this. We are jealous of the Black people. Black is beauty. I keep telling you that black is beauty. Nobody wants to understand it. Black is beauty, man. Now look at this. When somebody is jealous about you, they try to cause you trouble. That is the first characteristics of the man that is jealous about you, or the woman. When somebody is bothering you for nothing, just get to know that there is something within this guy that they feel that you are doing good than them, so they feel like they should have acquired those traits or characters. The issue of racism has for a long time been hidden behind something. And let us be so honest about this and just discuss freely, openly, man. Openly, you're going to drop the comment at the comment section. Let me understand what you think about it. But I'm trying to bring about what I think is true. There is no reason as why somebody can just have much more problems with the blacks without any reason. What reason is behind it? Because when I walk into a restaurant and you stop me from entering that restaurant because the restaurant is owned by a white person, or the majority in that restaurant are white people, then there is something, you are feeling like I'm better off than you. And so on that note, you're trying to obtain some advantages over me. You're trying to make me feel like, it is your problem. You are sharing your problem. Nobody asked you to share your problems. Keep your problems for yourself. And so, guys, this is the moment when people get to admit. For example, the whites are coming out very, very clearly and saying that, you guys, you know what? We are just jealous of the black lady's hair. Black is beautiful. It is one skin that can survive under each and every climate. You take the black people to the cold climates, they will survive. You take the black people to the semi-arid and deserts, they will still survive, because the black skin is the skin that has been made to absorb the challenges. When the skin goes through challenges, it still absorbs.
I have a theory about why black women and white women are having such a hard time getting along, and it starts with a story. When I first started teaching, I was in a teacher training program with 3 other women. 2 of them were black and 1 of them was Indian, and we started teaching at the same school, the same grade, at the same time. One of these women, a black woman, completely excelled. She did so much better than I did at literally everything. Classroom management, her test scores were high. She was excellent at literally everything. And something about her excellence didn't sit right with me. I just didn't feel good about it, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good about it. It was internalized racism, but I didn't know that yet. So I had to sit with this idea of her being better than me and trying to figure out why it didn't feel good and feel comfortable for me. And of course, at the time, I didn't know that I needed to do the work of anti-racism, so I didn't think it was possibly because I could have internalized racism. I had to do a lot of study and thought about myself and what could possibly be making me feel this way about this woman. And here's what I discovered. Most of the media that I had consumed up to that point in my life had white people as the central characters. And the shows and other media that I consumed that had white women at the central characters often had black women as the side characters. These black women's role in these movies was to assist the white women, support the white women, advise the white women, but never to rise above the white women. Even shows that were about black women, like The Help, had white women as the central character and the black women as supporting characters. So I internalized the idea that black women were there to support me and to advise me, but not to rise above or become better than me. And that's why when this black teacher was way better and more talented than me, I felt some kind of way about it. Now, I'd imagine lots and lots more white women have also internalized the same idea, and that's why they feel okay stealing black women's content and not giving them any credit, because the black women are just there to advise them anyway. But most black women are natural leaders. Society has forced them to become leaders. And so we need to step aside and let them lead, even if it means checking our privilege and letting them lead us.
Racism is jealousy. How is it jealousy, you may ask? Okay, so I'm biracial. I'm black and white. My dad is black, my mom is white. And in my experience, having white friends with blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever the case may be, my mom included, calling me the N-word hard R growing up and still sometimes now. Racism is jealousy, and let me feed you in a little bit of why I think that. This doesn't go for everybody, but I feel like it goes a lot for the younger generation, and yeah. White people will go and make fun of black people for having big lips, yet white people go get their lips done. White people will say, things about black people's skin tone, but then go get a tan and try to be brown. White people sit here and say they don't like black people, yet they listen to rap and hip hop music. White people will say black people have big butts, but then are on a freaking stepper at the gym or getting BBLs out here or injections. White people use the N-word loosely, but are so scared to actually embrace their saying the N-word, and if they get caught online, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. If you're racist, you're racist. If you're so confident about being racist, then why are you mad that you're being exposed? If you don't like black people, why are you doing everything that black people do? Why are you stealing their culture? Why are you trying to get big lips? Why are you trying to get dark skin? Why are you trying to get a big butt? Because you're making fun of black people for having these types of features, yet you're hypocritical. And I think you're just mad because black people are beautiful. Black people got the best skin ever, the most beautiful skin, and when they get older, they look so much younger. Like, beautiful plump lips. Their music is fly. Like, who can lie on that? Not all white people, but some white people like to go get braids done in their hair, but still over here trying to be racist and everything. Like, girl, are you okay? Because it's just not adding up. Are you really racist or are you just jealous? Like, think about it, sis. It's okay to want what other people have without trying to put other people down. It doesn't make you look any better. My ex-friend goes and gets her lips done. She listens to rap music. Like, something's not adding up. When black guys would text her, she would act all flirtatious, but then behind their back would speak like racism towards them. Girl, you can't even embrace the fact that you're a racist, then what's going on? You're so racist. I befriended that friend because she was racist. I don't really talk to my mom much because she's racist. My grandmother's racist, my grandfather's racist, and he will be confidently saying it out loud. He do not care. I obviously may not be fully black, but I am still black. And I have experienced racism. I have experienced differences. Like, if I'm with the white side of the family, like, I just don't look like them, like, at all. They're using the N-word towards me. Every time we get in some type of argument, it's always that I'm N-word hard R. I'm not the same as them and all this other stuff because I don't have blonde hair, blue eyes. I have curly hair, like. And then obviously, like, when I'm with, like, the black side of the family, I also don't look like them because my skin complexion, I'm more white passing. White passing with some black features. But, yeah, like, sometimes, too, it's hard being mixed. And you know what? This doesn't just go for black people. This goes for other races as well. Because people are racist towards other people, yet then go and get whatever they have done. Same thing with Hispanic people. Like, Hispanic people have beautiful skin. Like, it's nice and tan. Like, but people will say all types of stuff about them. Embrace what you have. It's not that hard. Embrace it. Stop being racist. There's no freaking reason. You're literally just jealous. And now you're out here causing mayhem for what? Whatever, sis. Every time somebody's racist towards me, I'm just like, okay. That's why you curl your hair. That's why you want my hair. That's why you try to get plump lips. That's why you try to tan your skin. Makes no sense.
The other issue is this. It is a very bitter past, a very, very bitter history that we blacks people were subjected into slave trade. Actually, we became the slave trade commodity. Very, very bitter. But when these guys happened to do this, they thought that this has now become the end of the black people. Yes, that is the truth. They thought that this has now become the end of the black people. And so, many years after, this guy still realizes that the black people are still thriving, they are still doing better, they are still succeeding. When you look at Olympics, for example, a good percentage of medals comes to Africa. Look at United States. Who are the guys who does the 100 meters race? People like is he called Gatlan or somebody? I don't know. Who is these guys that wins? They're the black Americans. Look at boxing. Michael Tyson ruled the boxing championship world for a very long period of time. People like Muhammad Ali. These are guys that ruled the boxing kingdom for a very long time. And look at sports generally. The people who thrives and does good in sports, for example, in the United States of America, are black people. Today, President Trump is deporting them back to Africa, and now wait and see on how come next year, America is going to lose on the sports. Yeah, guys, that is the truth. We cannot hide. We cannot hide it. We have to discuss it. This is the moment when we have to come out and remind these guys that, you have done us bad for a long time. You oppressed our great-grandfathers. You abused us. You misused us. You overworked us. But we have to tell you that there is something special about the black people. We are people that are resilient. We are people that never gives up. We are never ashamed of ourselves. We are proud of our culture. We are proud of our skin. Black people, bravo to you guys. Yeah.
Racism is about jealousy. If you think that's a reductive statement, please stick with me. When I say jealousy, I'm talking about insecurity, which is really what jealousy is, but I think it's easier to understand if I say insecurity rather than just jealousy. Because we know from appropriation that we are very jealous of other cultures. Why would we want to listen to the music, eat the food, wear the clothes, do the hairstyles, have everything, the language, but not give credit where credit is due and not uplift the people who created it? White people are so lost in feeling like they don't have a connection to culture, especially many of us who are very far removed from our European roots. And I think the need to fill that space and that insecurity of this lack of culture and lack of something to call our own is often filled with cultural appropriation and the idea that being white is superior. I was first introduced to this concept of racism being jealousy in college, and I can't trace it back to one particular scholar, but I would like to give credit where credit is due to that black scholar. If you can find anything tracing it to one particular person, please leave that in the comments. I think it's important to think about racism in this way if we want to unlearn it. Because, as some people say who are non-monogamous, or anyone who's just working on their relationships, jealousy is an indicator that something is not quite right with us. It's an indicator of our insecurity and how we might be feeling. It's not about what our partner is doing or what someone on Instagram is doing with their life that makes us feel inadequate. It's about something going on inside. And I think we really need to interrogate that. What is it about people of color showing excellence, people of color maybe being more in touch with culture, people of color being more in touch with the environment, people of color making better food, and everything else that we envy? What does that trigger in us? And why do we have the need to put those people down? It's about jealousy. And if we can figure out that we're feeling that way and trace that feeling back to maybe some of our unconscious biases, I think it's a lot easier to start thinking about how can we unlearn that? How can I feel secure in my identity as a white person who has roots in maybe Italian and like other cultures, but like doesn't really feel connected to anything? How can I feel secure in myself to not want to put others down, whether that be racism or any other form of discrimination, or just plain hating on another woman because she's amazing? I think this makes it seem like racism is very simple, but it also just helps us frame it in a way that's accessible to us. We know that dismantling racism starts with individual work, and personal growth is all about thinking about the hard things about yourself and the things and parts of yourself that you don't like. And jealousy is one of those things. No one wants to be jealous. It's an awful, awful feeling. And we don't want to admit that we're jealous. And we shy away from that, but it's something we can interrogate, and I think that is going to help us go a long way. Anyway, just my thoughts. Happy Juneteenth. I hopefully will speak about this more coherently in the future. Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
Dr. Hacker, it doesn't appear as though you really paint a very pretty picture of white people in general insofar as you see white-black race relations. Can you expound on that, sir?
Well, interestingly, you use the phrase race relations. I don't think there are many relations between black and white people. What I would say very simply is that those of us who are born with this pigmentation have certain privileges, things we can take for granted, we have the safety, the security, so we don't want to lose this. Now, this also means that, and here's the unpleasant part, that so much of our safety, security, status comes from putting down black people, saying we're not like them. We're Europeans. We're more highly evolved. We've got talents they don't have. And that's where you get, the flip side of this, which really is the ugly side of racism.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much does sex and sexuality really have to do with race relations, particularly between white men and black men?
Well, if you take white men and black men, let's take it two ways.
Okay.
If a white man is walking down the street and he sees a couple, a very attractive black man, really masculine, and with him a very attractive white woman, very white, we'll make her blonde, He looks at that woman and he wonders, this is the white man, what does she see in him? What do they do together? And it really drives us, up the wall, because she's a woman who could choose, a white guy, but she chooses a black guy. And that really bothers us. And as a result, what we want to do is some way take that black man away, because we begin to say, hey, is she having a better time with him, in various ways than she can with me? And so he's competition for us. And you know how people react to competition.
Blacks are the best. I promise you. And this is the matter or the fact that we can never dispute. This we cannot despise. This is the truth. We have to speak about it. Black people have got more advantages. We are people that are proud of our culture. We are people that are proud of our skin. We are proud of our societies. We are people with traces. We know where we came from. As much as a few individuals, the bureaucrats, stands in the gap and actually blocks us from acquiring higher positions, and when it happens, they want to tell you what to do. But the reality is, the presence of the Americans, the presence of the Chinese, the presence of the Russians, the presence of the Europeans in Africa to manipulate, to misuse the African raw material, it is because these guys have realized the potential of the black people. These guys have realized the potential of the black people. So what they are doing is this: divide and rule. Divide them, make them not to disagree, to agree, bring civil wars, fight one tribe with another, use money to manipulate them, make them sleep so that you're able to loot their minerals. These are the things that are happening, guys. And I want to remind you, if you're a black guy and you're listening to me at this time, please be proud of yourself. People are jealous of us, guys. People are jealous. People are really jealous of us because we are the best of all the races. We are doing good. And they are worried that if they will not stop us, then we are going to surpass them very, very soon. And that is the reality. We can never despise it. You're a black guy in Europe, you're a black guy in America, you're a black guy in Russia, you're a black guy in China, you're a black guy in Australia, and you are undergoing actually racism. That is like normal every single day. Guys, I want to remind you that never give up. Keep pressing hard. Somebody's jealous of you because you look like there is something good about you. You have a bright future. Never give up, guys. We blacks, we rules, just that the opportunity has not come. And the people have realized our potential. That is why they're trying to suppress us every day, to demean us, to make us look as if we are inferior, we are not worthy, we are not good to sit, where people are and such things. Come on, guys, let us wake up, take the mantle, and prove to the world that the Black Lives Matters. And black people are more successful and prosperous than any other person. Thank you for watching. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Maxwell. See you next time.